I've been thinking a lot as a non-binary, like femme or femme presenting person, or feminized person, how it's so easy for us to be categorized into the like woman as woman, or into women's spaces in general, and also low key the like a little bit of laziness when it comes to these spaces, when we have been like invited in, or like it's said that we can come into these spaces, or we're a part of these spaces. And I found this like multiple times. It's like there's actually not that much effort made in terms of like vocabulary, or making sure that I don't even know how to put it. Like sometimes people that come that are femme presenting like me, or dress more feminine, or seem more feminized, aren't actually women. We could be non-binary, we could be trans, we could be literally anything. And reminders are needed for people that are within the binary, men and women, to remember that just because somebody looks or dresses like similar to you doesn't mean that they are you. I think we should all note that. And when we're facilitating space and we are inviting different kinds of queer folk into our space, we have to be accommodating for that in our language, and remember to note that down. I'm just finding like over the last few years, even like, going into space that is facilitated for women in particular, that I've been invited into, and this isn't even one particular space, it's like multiple that I can think of. There's no accommodation for the fact that I'm non-binary, and there's a big lack of understanding, particularly with women when it comes to men, of course, but particularly with women when it comes to being outside of the binary. And sometimes I'm a bit disappointed, because I'm like, women should understand more than anything what it's like to be forced to be a certain way, or be in a particular binary. But then there's still this like lagging, or like lack of knowledge and understanding when it comes to understanding that someone could be femme, or maybe even like look like a woman, but they might not be, even in spaces or around people that are women that I have shared like are non-binary, like, and they're quite within the binary, aren't usually around queer folk. There can be like a dot silence, and not necessarily a judgment, just a lack of knowledge. And it would be nice to see women in particular like expand their knowledge a little bit when it comes to queer folk, because this sometimes can even be like lesbian, gay folk that are still so strongly within the binary, and like to each their own. But being more accommodating in language, and like not making so many excuses. I think I've heard so many times from older women when I have said that I'm non-binary, and this is multiple people have said like that they can't be bothered, or they're too old for that language, or it's a new thing. It's not a new thing. You saying that is showing your complacency, your lack of also knowledge and wisdom of Indigenous tradition and culture. It's not a new thing. Even in our native languages, we don't refer to each other in tree. We don't refer to each other as she and he. We refer to each other as they, and it's quite simple actually. I just think there's like a missing link. It feels like a missing link, and not like that people are stupid, but it feels like a missing link in people's brains. They just don't want to connect the dots, and it's like I also feel like there's a block for women sometimes, because if you connect that dot within yourself, then you're going to have to think about your whole existence. But that's what us queer folk and people that are non-binary or live outside of the binaries of gender norms facilitate. It's challenging. And if you want to be in relationship with us, if you want to get to know us, then you have to accept the fact that we are non-binary, and accepting that is like not just saying, oh yeah, it's all good. It's getting my pronouns right when you've known me for years. It's it's as simple as like, I wanted to add here, sometimes you don't know someone like as much as you think you know them if you're so unaccepting or shocked when they come out as gender non-conforming, non-binary, whatever it may be. You might need to get to know the person more on a personal and intimate level to understand who they are. Then you will understand why they are who they say they are. Me having this fucking, what is this called? I don't know, let's say it's a piece of paper. And I'm saying it's not called a piece of paper, it's called a napkin. Changing that word in your head, when you can do it with an object really quickly, so why is it that when it comes to a human being or another person you can't switch that? It's our like deep-rooted conditioning. And so I really challenge like any woman or woman that like struggle with not just getting pronouns right, but understanding that people are non-binary or and can be non-binary and look and dress femme or feminized or whatever that means, is real, and it's not a new age or new generation thing. It's actually very old, it's very ancient, and there are lots of blocks there. And yeah, second point, as I was saying, like if you're facilitating space and you are actively inviting queer people into your space, you need to be aware of that as well. Otherwise, then it's just a space for women, and that's fine, of course, but that can also bring triggers up for queer folk, for people that live outside of the binary, when you've invited them in, but it's not accommodating in language or in any other way. I've actually like stopped working with people because they've made those excuses. And I note people like that in my space because there's only a certain level of acceptance, because when you really want to queer it up, there's a block for them. And this could be mentors, this can be elders, this can be peers, friends, family, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, something we might need to work on.